Good evening. Welcome to the Disney Morning Show, starring Kyle Burbank, also with Doobie Mosley. I am Doobie, co-founder here at Laughing Place. Let's see if I do this. See, I'm the co-founder, and there's Kyle Burbank. He has nothing here at Laughing Place, but when he's not doing nothing, he is a managing editor. And we're going to catch you up on what's going on in the world of Disney today. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing pretty well. We're a little late today, but
Yes, that's
that's
my fault. I have another life where I do actual work that pays money, and that life intruded on this fantasy life where I act like I can make a living off of Disney, which I can't. So the actual money part had to take precedence. But here we are, only a half hour late, and so let's get on with it. So our stock price today is 96.25. Yesterday we were at 95.56. That means we are up almost about 75 cents. So if you had invested $1 million yesterday during this show, you would have made like
75 cents.
a certain amount of money overnight. So that would have been pretty cool. I'm very bad at this. Um,
Three
but
quarters of $1 million.
is it that easy? No, that makes no sense because that's almost doubling, and the stock did not double.
Yeah,
See?
I don't know.
So don't take your investment advice from us is the moral of this story because we can't even do simple math. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to another LP Disney Weather Report. Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest. The kids are playing up downstairs. Sister's sighing in her sleep. Brother's got a date to keep. He can't hang around. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our house, it has a crowd. There's always something happening. And it's usually quite loud. Our mum, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slows her down. And a mess is not allowed. Let's get to the weather. Anaheim will be sunny today and reach a high of 71. Walt Disney World will likely see some showers in the afternoon but will otherwise be partly cloudy. Their high will be 83 but feel like 87. Castaway Cay is windy again today and will be 81 for most of the day. Meanwhile, Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point will be cloudy, windy, and 83 degrees today. Disneyland Paris is partly cloudy tonight with temps teetering on the verge of 50. After overnight showers, Tokyo will be dry during park hours tomorrow and hit a high of 70. Shanghai will be overcast tomorrow, holding temperatures to the low 70s. Lastly, Hong Kong will make it up to 82 tomorrow with partly cloudy skies. And that will do it for another Disney weather update. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Sometimes I really hate YouTube. That would be so much better in the original. Good morning, by the way, Donna. And do you like the later time? Should we consider moving back to 10 o'clock? Well, that's not. I mean, at least at 9:30 is. Yeah, it's still not the morning show in the East Coast, even at 9:30. Hey, JPP. We're about to talk about Moana 2 with Kyle, but before we get into it, Kyle, is there any truth to the rumor that the working title was Moana 2 Hawaiian Boogaloo?
I don't know. We'd have to ask our own Tony Betty if he's watching. He can weigh in on that. I'm sure he has his fingers closer to the pulse of Disney than us
I'm
in
sure he
terms of
does.
animation.
All right, so Kyle, there's like a lot of Moana 2 stuff to get to this morning. Why don't you get started?
Yeah, after yesterday, there's even more. But let's get to the top story, which is that Hawaiian Airlines, which is now merged with Alaska Airlines, incidentally, they gave us a look at one of their three planes that are going to have Moana 2 liveries, at least for a time. And in addition to having these outside of the plane, the interior, the overhead bins are going to also feature Moana characters and art. So this is the first of three that we'll be getting. So Doobie's very excited. He has to go back to Hawaii just so that he can hop around the islands on one of these planes.
You know my biggest disappointment of my trip to Hawaii? I
Not
went I went on Southwest instead of Hawaiian Air.
I mean, you did literally fly south and west, so that's good.
It's logical and it made sense, but I don't know. You want to get off the plane, you want to walk down the stairs, have them put the lay on you, and you just don't get that on Southwest. What's next? Exciting. So exciting.
Posters. As you know, there are a bunch of different formats for films these days. So when Moana 2 arrives, which by the way, tickets are on sale, which is why there was this whole like dump of stuff. So they released different poster art for all these different formats. So you have like I'm not going to do these in order, but yeah, Fandango has a poster apparently. IMAX, Dolby D, 4K, DX, all of those get their own special poster. So I'm not going to keep hitting the button because I have standards.
One of them actually looks different.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, this one's cool. This one I went with for the thumbnail for this video.
Dolby. But in addition to that, we talked about some of the novelties yesterday that were coming out. Sorry, I skipped over one, but
You did.
there are lots of novelties we talked about. We looked at which was it yesterday?
Yesterday we had the popcorn bucket. Yeah, Regal.
But AMC has a popcorn bucket and a Kakamora sipper that you can get as a bundle. And there's also, you can enter to win a trip to Alani and be cool like Doobie. Maybe not even fly Southwest. Maybe fly a real airline.
Fighting for seats. I mean, I'm A-list, so don't give me but
Well, you're going to be fighting for seats for about another year, and then no longer.
No longer. I'm looking forward to. Well, I was looking forward to that until I became A-list, and that was just not as big a deal as it once was.
It's kind of the theory of like when my movie theater, bringing it back into what we're talking about, switched from Pepsi to Coke. All the other chains in town were already on Coke, so it's like we're not gonna like lose business because of it. Because like we're just the same as
nowhere
everybody
else to go. Let's see. We've got a song that was released that we're not going to play, but we can show you some of it.
Yep, and then behind the scenes, all the stuff that you get. They're in full promotion mode now as we get closer to the release of this movie,
which is on.
That's the part I didn't write down.
I don't know either, but I do know it's next
November.
month.
I'm sure it's around Thanksgiving. Oh, November 27th.
November 27th, and
right around Thanksgiving. I was very much correct there.
Tony has enlightened us. The original working title was Moana, the Disney Plus original series.
Oh yes, the ponchos. We mentioned the ponchos yesterday. I thought maybe we didn't. Maybe that was
I don't think we did. Yeah, that was off the air. So go ahead and mention it.
There are ponchos for 4DX because you'll get wet. So they have Moana 2 ponchos that they look pretty single use, but I guess you could try to sneak out a second use and go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the parks as well, or Kali River Rapids, or Grizzly River Rapid Run, if there's still a rapid in there.
So I have heard that they don't actually do that anymore. I did not know there were companies you can book to meet your flight with delay. That's pretty cool. I also noticed when I returned my rental car, which is of no use, that there's like a string of, they call it the lay stations or something like lay something. I think it's lay stations. And there's just like a row of them outside by the rental car return, where there's like each one has their own little banner there, and like Cheryl's lays and Tommy's lays. And I guess you can go there and get a lay when you're arriving in Hawaii. I wish they had it at the rental car checkout instead of the rental car return, because we probably would have gotten one. Because that's when you feel like you're in Hawaii, is when someone goes, aloha. But did not happen. All right, next up today, we have...
I'm also picturing you. I just had this thing. You guys yesterday were talking on Parks Talk about going and mention the luau and you being vegetarian and Rebecca not eating pork. And I'm picturing the classic like pig on a spit with an apple in its mouth and you taking the apple to eat.
Oh, now I wish I would have gone to the luau just for that moment.
Can I get that? Thanks.
Let's see. Fun. The Simpsons is doing Funday football. So this will be on ESPN December 9th when the Cowboys lose to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. I know Cincinnati's bad, but it's the Cowboys. Come on. They're at home for one thing. So which means they're going to lose by at least 30. We do have football picks results coming up later today, and it's not pretty for one of us. But so this is done by Sony's Beyond Sports Tech. It's the fully immersive program where you're in Springfield watching an entirely animated version of the real football game as it happens. The tech is just mind-boggling, and the result is a lot of fun. We did this last year with Toy Story.
Hopefully it works a little bit better than that one.
This will be on Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and interestingly enough, NFL Plus. And
Tony will yell at me if I don't also mention that the NHL did it with Big City Greens twice.
They did, but that's not what we're talking about. And
Just telling you, dude. I bet you he was mid-typing. And
she
no,
knows
we
the
just-
lay stand. Yeah, lay stands. What did I call them? Lay stands, I think. Anyway,
lay stands.
they did a little 30-second promo that does not appear to have any copyrighted music. So
On December 9th, two storied rivals will meet on the gridiron. A test of will, of spirit, of determination, in which ultimately only one can prevail. When these two ancient foes face off on Monday Night Football, it's more than just football. It's family. It's Bart and the Bengals versus Homer and the Cowboys, live from Springfield.
promo. So looking forward to
I
that.
did say twice, in case you missed that, Tony. He might just be emphasizing the point, but I'm just making sure he knows. I did say twice.
Tony.
That was a great band, Tony.
Were they?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a good line. I realized to just throwing out your flex that every band name that ever existed. But were they actually great?
I don't know.
All right, how's Dance with the Stars doing?
Dancing with the Stars Disney Night brought the eyeballs to the ballroom. What? You don't like entertainment reporter, Kyle? Apparently this episode was up 10% from the previous week, with a total of 4.85 million views. That's also up at 24% from last year's Disney Night, and it won the night for the top entertainment program for adults 18 to 49, which, as
awesome.
you'll recall, is the key demo.
Yeah, which I was fine with until I turned 50, and
Yeah.
now it's a little painful to hear that. Let's see. The Disneyland Resort bringing some Halloween magic to Children's Hospital of Orange County. Love these kind of stories. A reminder that in addition to making a ton of money, Disney does a lot of good in their charitable endeavors. So the Children's Hospital of Orange County is kind of like one of their main projects, and they went to visit them recently. See some of the pictures there. I'm going to play that in a moment. But they teamed up with the Starlight Children's Foundation to bring some spooky magic to the Children's Hospital of Orange County. A visit from Mickey and Minnie. Volunteers were there giving giveaways and hosting events. And for the patients who were unable to attend the actual party, they got some personal visits from Mickey and Minnie in their rooms and some special treats and magical memories. So a beautiful thing that they do. And they did a little Instagram that I am happily going to play right now.
Happy Halloween! Jada and Raul here at Children's Hospital of Orange County, spreading some Halloween time fun and some special friends.
Follow us as we surprise patients and family with some costumes and some extra Disney magic.
Minions.
He brought you too. It says he loves you so much. Are you best friends? Yeah, you're best friends. Hey. I love you.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a little much this early in the morning. I'm not sure I can go on. Pro tip, don't do stories like that when you actually have children. Okay, Kyle.
When you have a child. So it's been 30 years since the first Disney on Broadway production that was Beauty and the Beast, and now you can celebrate 30 years of Disney on Broadway magic with an exhibit at the Museum of Broadway. This debuted on Saturday the 26th. It'll run through January 5th. It features some costumes and props from a number of Disney on Broadway productions over the years. And you can find tickets so the Broadway Museum, the price varies depending on when you go and what time you go, but price ranges from $36 to $53, and that includes obviously a lot more, but this exhibit as well. And it's also obviously located near Broadway, so if you're going to like the Lion King, it's very close.
All of Broadway's kind of
Broadway goes like this. All the other streets are
very small area. It's weird how small New York is. I mean, not New York, but you know what I mean. The Disney Treasure. Oh, I got a message. Got to see if it's important.
Treasure, that is what you are. Baby, you're my golden-
The Disney Treasure, Disney's next cruise ship, has now officially become Disney's property. This is the, what do they call this? This is the,
You know what? I want to say this is one of like I like how every time they do an update, they're like, "This is a celebrated maritime tradition," and you're like, "Is it though?"
I
Like,
think- I don't know.
You could they just trying to make it bigger than it is. Like, yeah, turning over the ship that you bought. I guess that's a time-honored maritime tradition.
Maritime has a lot of traditions that are weird. You know, they break a bottle over the side of the ship, so I would not be surprised with it. Anyway, this is a time-honored tradition where the delivery ceremony, the ownership of the new vessel is transferred from the shipyard, in this case Meyer Werft, to the new owner, in this case Disney Cruise Line. So October 24th, this occurred for the Disney Treasure, which set sail on December 21st on its maiden voyage. But this ceremony took place in, I'm going to try it, Eemshaven, Netherlands. Yes.
But these ships, they're all registered in the Bahamas, right?
It's like when the car dealership takes a Polaroid. Does that still happen? I bet it does. Yes, these ships are all registered in the Bahamas.
So do they have to visit the Bahamas at some point before coming to America? Do they have to like get their paperwork, get their tags for the year? Like
filibuster for about 15 seconds.
Okay. Bahamas. Yeah, so there's a thing called the Jones Act. If you ever wonder why on a cruise you have to go internationally before coming back to America, it's because only American ships can go from one American port to another. So you have to go somewhere else first. And that's why when there's like hurricanes in Puerto Rico and ships want to go straight to Puerto Rico and help, well, since that's America, they technically can't do that. So they lift the Jones Act for a temporary amount of time so that they can get them goods and services, and then they bring it back for some reason.
So the cruise ship does not need to go to the Bahamas before it goes to its home port. It does need to meet certain requirements as set by the country of registry, like inspections and certifications, but those can be arranged in various ports worldwide through recognized classification societies. So it is possible that a ship registered in the Bahamas will never, ever, ever, ever visit the Bahamas.
Oh, so like incorporating in Delaware.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, next up, we've got Kyle Burbank.
Yeah, Brett Iwan, I think is how you say his name. He's the current voice of Mickey Mouse, and he's also a Disney artist. And for some reason, was getting a tour of Cotino. There's nothing about Mickey Mouse or art in this video per se, but he got an update. So there's a couple little things. So one of them is that the Long Table Park, that'll open in early 2025, and that's part of the 55 and older community of Cotino. But as a reminder, Cotino is not just a retirement community. There is houses for people of any age that can buy a house in Disney. And the other part of the news is that Shea is one of the 3 home builders at Cotino. Their first model houses will be open in this fall for people to tour. And then the other builders and probably some more houses will be available and open 2025, is early 2025. You'll see they'll have more model houses you can check out and see if you want to live in Cotino and buy a house and customize it and all that good stuff.
So this project is 100% on schedule, it sounds like?
I have no idea if it's on schedule because I don't remember what. I'm surprised it's happening. That's the bottom line. Is it's this?
You had doubt?
No, I don't know if I had doubt. It's just one of those weird things. It's like you've kind of done this before. Why you're doing this now? Oh, and I should mention that this is near Palm Springs. This is in California, but there is another. They've already announced the second Story Living, not called Cotino. It starts with an A, and it's in North Carolina.
Is it Alani?
It's not Alani. I think it's like Asteria or something like that, but might not be exactly.
What are the 2 Disney Story Living locations? We have Cotino. I'll ask for names, and it wants to give me a whole paragraph on each. And the second location, unspecified. So
it's not unspecified.
ChatGPT, you have failed me. See, are you sure? I thought the second had a name that.
Here we go. Tony Betty, faster than ChatGPT, Asteria, North Carolina. He had to write about it twice for reasons.
It is Asteria. You know what's funny? If you ever ask ChatGPT something and you're not sure about its answer, ask it, are you sure? And it will come back, and as it did now, said Asteria.
So it didn't dig its heels in with a hallucination? Because it does that sometimes too.
Which is totally on schedule and has experienced no delay. Thank you, Tony Betty. All right.
I have to go. Sorry, I was reading comments.
Hotkeys.
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
I love Brett Rewan, the voice of Mickey Mouse. Glad you do, Brian. I've never met him. I met the previous voice of Mickey Mouse, or at least one of the previous, many times. We were actually friends.
Yeah, don't get your emotions up again.
Even though I can't think of his name right now, which is really sad. Wow, Wayne Allwine. All right, we have a review
Just
today.
letting you toil. I had it.
No, I'd rather come up with it myself than have to give it to me, because that's embarrassing. So we have a review of Lorcana. I will read you the headline for this. It is the latest Disney Lorcana set. Azurite C understood the assignment. That clever. Oh, and the subhead. These nautical decks bring outstanding cohesion and a fun Easter egg to boot. And that is by Kyle Burbank, who you may be familiar with. Interesting. So I guess I'm wrong on this. I will put No, I'm definitely wrong on this. I think of Easter egg in this context as having a capital E on both words, but that's not right. It should just be the Easter. Right. No style guide updates here. Anyway, Kyle wrote the review. He could summarize it himself, but we don't do that here. So we asked ChatGPT to summarize it for us in 3 sentences. The Disney Lorcana Azurite Sea set offers cohesive nautical-themed decks that stand out as the most unified theming in the series so far, with some recurring cards from previous sets blending well into the theme. The set introduces fan-favorite franchises like Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and Big Hero 6, featuring creative art that ties into the sea motifs. The reviewer is particularly impressed by the collection's evolution, noting that Azurite Sea elevates the game and anticipates more innovations in future releases. How did it do, Kyle?
It did pretty well. It's funny that it uses the term fan favorite, because I've questioned that. Like, when we say fan favorite, like, yeah, if you're a fan of it, then it would be a favorite. But what does fan favorite really mean? Like, there's a very specific usage case, and I feel like it's getting a little overblown. I don't know if I would use it there. But yeah, I think that's mostly right. The innovation part is a little hairy, because I don't know if it's really innovative. Because I'm talking more about like the art style of the game, and if I use the word innovative in this context, people might think I mean like the mechanics of the game, which I'm not familiar with, so I can't really say that. So it's a technicality, but yeah, I think it did a pretty nice job overall.
So what I should have done is, when it was done, said, "Are you sure?" and then seen what it came out with.
Well, no, it's not wrong. I'm just saying, like, as a human, I'm a little bit more sensitive to how these things are going to be perceived, and it's not wrong exactly. No, I really like this set. I thought that the sea parts are cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did I miss a story? Was there a story this morning about Epic Universe that I missed?
Yeah, it's the top story on the homepage. But we're at Disney.
Oh, you know why I missed it? Because it was scary.
Yeah.
That is the reason I missed it. Is there video or just pictures? Oh, there is video. All right, let's call this story. We got some cool Dark Universe information this morning. They put out a video, Epic Universe stuff this morning. They put out a video, The Monsters of Monsters Unchained, The Frankenstein Experiment. So this is from Dark Universe, just scanning it. It's nothing over the top. Don't worry about being scared. Check it out. Not like that, like that. With audio.
Dark Universe. I'll narrate.
Together, we will finish what my great-grandfather started. Show them.
Monsters Unchained has the most technologically advanced animated figures that have ever been built in the attraction.
These are monsters for the next generation of fans. We wanted to make sure that we kept everything that was familiar, kept everything that was the essence of these monsters. But we wanted to take it to another level. These monsters are scary.
These animated figures are moving faster than any figures we have built, and we have so many of them. We have 14 animated figures across this ride floor.
And they are visceral, they are powerful, they are intense. And from a technical standpoint, they exceed beyond everyone's wildest expectations for what an animated figure can do.
I'm looking forward to Disco.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm looking forward to Disco Wolfman.
That Wolfman, as Rebecca said, did remind of Yeti's early days. Oh my goodness, those are impressive. That Frankenstein monster was
That was a close one.
was crazy. If they actually pull that off, wow! Beyond the first day, that's crazy because those were some impressive animatronics. Thank you, Tony, for watching my back. It would have been very sad to miss that story.
And the rest.
All right, next up we have first look at what, Kyle?
Did you want the banner back, by the way?
Oh, I do.
Just making sure. Next up, we have a first look at the casting characters of Disney Junior's new series, RoboGobo. This was first announced a couple of years ago, or a year ago, rather, but it won't debut until early next year. So first, let me give you the premise, then we'll go through these characters. There's 5 adorable adopted pets are given superpower robo-suits by a kid inventor named Dax. So starts off as you have there, Cynthia Erivo as the Slink, Alan Cumming as Dame Lugsley, Dule Hill, a.k.a. Magic Head, as Dr. Vaughn.
It's so weird. Rebecca and I are watching Suits now for the first time, and Magic Head's in it. And it's just weird to have Magic Head doing a different role.
He just spans the U.S. universe. Allison Pill as Farmer Faye, Valerie Bertinelli as Chef Polly.
Oh, she's still working.
Yeah. Susan Kalechi Watson as Professor Millie, and Anna Gasteyer as Krabithia.
Shiny. Very cool. When's that coming?
That comes early next year.
All right. And if you are an artsy type, which I most definitely am not, but Disney Parks blog likes to give you little paper projects to work on. So they have the 8th one now, where you get to build the Disney Treasures Haunted Mansion Parlor. We talked about the treasure earlier, coming December 21st. One of the rooms is a Haunted Mansion Parlor themed lounge they have there. So this is their 8th one, a craft inspired by the parlor, and you can go check it out on the Disney Parks blog via our article. That's me too. And finally, I thought I had them alternating the whole show. I was wrong. Over at the Island Tower at the Polynesian Resort, which is almost ready to open next month. It is coming. Got a monorail ride there, and as you approach the tower, you can now see a new mural featuring a sea turtle on the right side of the building, closest to the existing Polynesian building. So there that is right there. Kind of neato keen. Looking forward to yet another DVC coming to Walt Disney World.
So our own Alex has been busy running around Southern California. He was at the LightBox Expo recently and got to hear from a panel about the Disney Channel series Primos, which I know not Doobie. Tony's been watching for us and recapping and keeping an eye on. So you could read all about that here, but one of the things that stood out to me is that the creator, Natasha, handpicked her crew not only for the professional pedigree that the people had, but also because it's a very personal show and is very specific to a cultural understanding. She was choosing people that had personal connections to what she envisioned for the show. So if you haven't been watching Primos, the first 19 episodes are now streaming on Disney Plus, and they air on Disney Channel. And you can read Alex's piece and other stuff from Lightbox over on Laughing Place.
That Frankenstein's monster will walk around the pre-show. I'll believe that when I see it. The Wizards Beyond Waverly Place is coming soon, and they had their world premiere at the El Capitan. This was last night, I believe.
Yeah.
And so we've got some pictures from the event. You can go see that on Laughing Place. Looked like a keen event to be at.
And if you'll believe it, Selena Gomez and David Henry were both there.
I believe it, which is pretty cool. I'm so glad she's embraced this. She's talk about a well-adjusted child star. So happy. It's nice to see that for a change.
Yeah.
The fun stuff.
Someday I will hear that without laughing, but that was not today. So speaking of Beyond, Waverly Place. There is a new behind-the-scenes video that's been released that shows the cast recording their famous wand thingy that the Disney Channel
Wand
is known for.
IDs.
Is that what they call it? The wand ID? Just so cool. So you go check
And they
that
do
out.
it in the correct direction, unlike David Montgomery.
Who's David
That's who
Montgomery?
his name is, right?
I don't know who he
Lions
is.
player.
Oh, really? You're gonna rag on him? He did the thing.
He did it backwards.
So what? Has he not scored again? Because I haven't seen any more Disney celebrations coming out. Hard to believe he hasn't, considering how much the Lions have been scoring lately. Anyway, if you want to go check this out on our site or directly on YouTube, it is out there. Fun stuff there. All right, this is the portion of the show where Kyle shows off just what a Disney expert he is or isn't. We call it This Day in Disney History. On this day in 1952, happy 2024 minus 1952, happy 72nd birthday to this voice actor he's mostly known as for The Simpsons, Return of Jafar, many
Dan
other
Castanella.
Dan Castanella, happy birthday to you. Kyle is 1 for 1. I hit the wrong button. It's okay. You know what he looks like. And on this
Do
day,
I actually don't know what he looks like. I just know that it always bothered me that Wishes had the Homer Simpson genie.
do you really not know what he looks like?
I mean, I probably do, but of the main Simpsons cast, that's probably the one that I see the least. I see
Oh,
Harry
my
Shearer all the time, and okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
never mind,
that
I've
guy.
seen him, but
Pretty well known face. All right, and on this day,
it's like James Taylor.
okay, on this day, let me see. I gotta give me 10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm enjoying these faces that Dan is making. That's how he felt when they tried to lower his pay. He was like looking at the terms of the new contract, like, oh.
According to ChatGPT, Dan Castellaneta and James Taylor don't look very much alike.
Okay. I'm glad robots are ruling on this.
Castellaneta has a rounder face, a more prominent nose, and typically a clean-shaven look. James Taylor has a longer face, a more slender build, and often a receding hairline with a warm, approachable expression.
Okay. Well, in my mind, I'm gone to Castaneda.
You know what I could have done is just pull up a picture of James Taylor, but no. Let's have ChatGPT instead. Yeah, they do kind of look alike, actually. Okay, and on this day in 2012, a movie premiered.
2012. Okay,
2012, sorry,
okay.
in the future. 2012. Would you like a synopsis?
What I missed what you said after 2012.
A movie premiered.
A movie premiered in 2012 on this day in October. John Carter.
Would you like a synopsis?
Yes.
The synopsis will definitely help. Blank is tired of playing the role of a bad guy and embarks on a journey to become
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. That is correct. On this day, I don't know if it actually came to theaters this day, but it had its world premiere today.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine that would be like a Thanksgiving release, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, let's see. Wreck-It Ralph.
ChatGPT.
I'm not asking ChatGPT this time. November 2nd, so just a couple of days. Do we just know? So you always agree with AI when you're doing anything that they might later hear. Okay, do we have a football one yet? Can I request a different song? I like the visual, but just a little off.
I tried to find like a classic football thing, and it wasn't coming up. So I made that one in a haste. So yes, I will redo this one maybe before Thursday when we make our next picks.
Oh yeah, yay, Kyle, 2 for 2 today. Impressive, most impressive.
Thank you.
All right, so we have 2 weeks worth. First, we have week 7, where Kyle went 10-5. Very impressive in the 15 games. Doobie only went 7-8. Very unimpressive. So after 7 weeks, Doobie was 37-34, barely over 500. Kyle 41-30, raking in the dough. And on week 8, the week just completed, Kyle went 12-4, Doobie 9-7. Kyle,
You have to keep betting on your Cowboys. That's the hard part.
it goes beyond that. So Kyle only missed the Jets losing to the Patriots, which everyone missed. The Browns beating the Ravens, which everyone missed. I don't know why you picked the Bengals over the Eagles. You have no excuse for that one. And the Vikings losing to the Rams, which everyone missed. So Kyle,
hard week for Mac because he's also a Yankees fan, and that series is not going well.
All but over. So Kyle was 12-4. I was 9-7.
Not over till it's over, though. Oh, by the way, Doobie, I have I know you're a big fan of documentaries and like 30 for 30s and stuff. Have you watched? I think it's just called The Comeback or something, but it's the Boston Red Sox series.
I have not yet. I'm sure I will at some point. That's one of those that I really don't want to see until I just happen to put it on and enjoy the heck out of it.
Okay.
One of those.
I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be one episode. It's 3 for some reason, but one of the middle one's short. I don't know. Netflix does this thing where they just stretch it out to multiple episodes for no reason.
One episode is enough, Netflix. Anyway, overall, Kyle is now 53-34. Oh my goodness, I am 46-1, and Kyle is not the sports fan. I am. And for the record, as Rebecca will gleefully point out, she is in the 99.7 percentile for our ESPN confidence pick game. 99.7. That is impressive by any measure. All right, Kyle. Do we have any late breaking news we should get to?
Let me check. Tony, let me know if we do.
I do see a big one here. Let me go ahead and put that up real quick.
Okay. Is it?
Winston the Walrus brings holiday cheer to SeaWorld San Diego for annual Christmas celebration.
Oh, okay.
There he is.
I'm very glad I didn't.
I don't understand animals.
You don't understand animals?
This is not a walrus. That's a reindeer.
And it isn't whatever name you said.
There is no picture of a walrus here.
You deal with what they give us.
So this year we'll have the debut of Happy Harbor Holiday featuring Winston the Walrus.
That's the problem. He hasn't debuted yet, Doobie.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's just funny for our first picture I'm not saying their first picture to have an animal. That's clearly, to my understanding, not a walrus.
I like how much you're hedging this. That's the best part.
Popular Fantasy Springs admission to Inn. What does that mean? We'll save it for tomorrow. Give us a chance to digest it.
It's a Tokyo thing. We're not going to understand it anyway.
And yeah, but Rebecca's a big Kevin. So Netflix has that thing where you go to Netflix and it just starts playing the trailer. And so we got caught up in the trailer of Kevin Millar recalling when he was interviewed. They showed an interview where they asked him if he wanted to play with a certain player. And he's like, no, I'd rather play with this player. And then many years later,
you don't
they asked
know
him
who that player is?
Nomar Garcia versus A-Rod. And he said, yeah, I want to play with A-Rod. I'm trying to keep it open to everybody. And so years later, he's recalling and he's like, well, they asked me this upset so many people. They asked me a question about A-Rod, and I told them, of course I'd love to play with A-Rod. And they said, no, actually they asked you, who would you rather play with? And he goes, oh, I see why they're so upset.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
And that almost got me to click play. All right. Is that it, Kyle?
I think that's it, sir.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow morning, probably at 9:30, but you never know. This is 3 Show Tuesday, 4:30 Pacific today. We have the girls, the ladies, the wives, Becca and Rebecca doing
Barely Necessities.
And then, go ahead, you finish.
And then at 7:30 p.m., Doobie and Gideon return for Disney Trivia Live, and the quizzes, I hear, are nearly completed. So
nearly complete. We've got the Bay. We've got the Bay.
Give some extra time to check for typos.
And then, 4:30 Pacific. So I'm going to give, if you're watching now and you play DTL, here's one of the quizzes for you. Get ready. We're going to have a what movie is this from quiz, but all the movies are from the Skywalker saga. So there's only 9 movies to choose from in each one. We can have a movie more than once in the quiz. So if you can go watch all those movies now, study them, you'll ace tonight's quiz.
Nice. I'm excited to watch trivia after missing it on Saturday. So.
It's weird without having you there, Kyle.
Sorry.
We understand.
Bye. See you tomorrow.